it's really hard to see a way forward right now.
We have a very good relationship with the people of Lebanon, and we will be there to help.
This is Lebanon, traditionally an important commercial hub for the Middle East, yet a place of conflict for many years. Today, though, in its capital Beirut, the task of starting to recover from devastation. It's thought the explosion was caused by chemicals in the city's port. The Lebanese Red Cross says at least 100 people have died, but they're expecting that to rise. 4,000 have been injured. Emergency services have been searching through the night and day for anyone who survived, and many who haven't. Miles away from the explosion, the force of the blast was still felt. People have been left homeless after their houses were destroyed. They've been taking to social media to ask for help, or to offer it. Leaders across the world have offered their support. Pope Francis has offered prayers. Both the UK Prime Minister and Leader of the Opposition have responded. The British Ambassador to Lebanon says the UK is urgently looking at how to provide support.
Let me begin by sending America's deepest sympathies to the people of Lebanon. Our prayers go out to all the victims and their families. The United States stands ready to assist Lebanon. We have a very good relationship with the people of Lebanon, and we will be there to help.
Any hope that there was to try and, rely on imports or trying to get the economy started through that sector is, just the idea of trying to rebuild from this with a completely destroyed port is just going to make the economic recovery just so long and so dire that it's really hard to see a way forward right now.
Dr. Julie Norman, a teaching fellow in politics and international relations at the University College London, says it's going to be a long recovery.
The instantness of it is what's unique. Lebanon suffered from a very long civil war from 1975 to 1990. And seeing the images today, I think many are seeing, the city looks very similar to the way it did in some parts of that war. But that was a long war. It was a lot of ongoing, rebuilding, destruction, what have you. And to have just an entire city just, so affected so quickly, really in just a single instant, requires a very different kind of rebuilding effort. And, we've seen a lot of regional and international actors already committing to trying to support that effort. But again, the scale is just going to be absolutely massive. Beirut is a seaside capital, and so the port is a major part of the city. So the city really comes up right up against the port. The port itself kind of stretches along one strip of the city. That's one of the main areas for nightlife, for studying, for businesses, for shops. So it's not like a lot of cities where there's an industrial zone that's very separate from where people are living and working in their daily lives. These things mash up very closely to each other. And so where the explosion happened, it didn't just destroy the port, which in itself, again, would be just catastrophic for Lebanon, but the residential streets around it, the business streets around it, really just bump up right to it. Lebanon is often on kind of teetering on the edge a little bit with financial and political stability, but this last year really pushed it to a crisis situation. There were large-scale protests around politics for a while, but also around economics. In the last several months, that's just become more dire and compounded with Corona, of course, and everything that's going on with that. But the extent that massive inflation, people can't get money out of the banks, food prices have been soaring. So even before this blast, people who could leave Lebanon were leaving. It was, pretty much an unprecedented financial crisis. And what happened with the port, a port is important for any country, of course, but Lebanon relies extremely heavily on imports. The port is where most food is imported and also where a lot of food stuffs are stored. So all that has been wiped out. So moving forward, just for things as simple as food security is going to be extremely difficult, much less larger, economic development, which is what Lebanon relies on. The exact cause is still not known. The size of blast is being linked to this, warehouse where there was, 2,700 tons of ammonium nitrate apparently stored improperly. That's highly explosive. questions as to what actually triggered the blast. So there will be a lot of speculation around that. And then, as you said, the potential for people who are obviously aggrieved and upset by this from different parties to potentially respond. This is also, of course, the same week that Lebanon is bracing for the Rafik Hariri verdict. So Hariri was the prime minister who was assassinated back in 2005, and that verdict has been highly anticipated. So Lebanon was already on high alert this week for that verdict, and so having this explosion come, even if purely accidental, in that same week, tensions are definitely going to be high.